Now let's talk about China. It is knocking on India's doors once again with some urgency this time. The US has slapped 245% tariffs on China. Striking a deal is out of the question at the moment, so Beijing is looking for backups. And India is a fantastic option for them. Chinese firms are warming up to Indian regulators. They are willing to accept New Delhi's terms. They're keen to do business with India and in India. And they're ready to take a backseat in joint ventures, anything to get them an entry. More and more Chinese companies are ready to accept this, like the Shanghai Highly group. They make air conditioners. And Haier, which is an electronics company, reports say that they're open to India's rules now. Because if they lose the American market, they will need India. And if they wait too long, other competitors could take the lead. Companies from South Korea, Japan, and Europe, they're all fighting for the same market share. So Chinese companies are feeling the heat, and Beijing is trying to help them out.
China is ready to work with India to view and handle China-India relations from a strategic and long-term perspective under the strategic guidance of the leaders of both countries. Taking the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations as an opportunity, China will work with India to enhance strategic mutual trust, strengthen exchanges and cooperation in various fields, deepen communication and coordination on major international affairs, jointly maintain peace and tranquility in the China-India border areas, and promote the healthy and stable development of bilateral relations.
So China wants to improve ties with India, and it is starting with the low-hanging fruits like visas. China is fast-tracking visas to Indians. This year, they have issued more than 85,000 visas to Indians already, 85,000 so far this year. The Chinese embassy wants more Indians to visit. They have simplified the visa rules, no appointments to file applications, no biometrics for short trips, and fast approvals. That's what the Chinese embassy is promising. Basically, China is trying to build a new image. It is promising a more open, a friendly China to Indians. And the message comes directly from President Xi Jinping. Earlier this month, he wrote a letter to the Indian president. He spoke of a dragon-elephant tango, a metaphor for the two nations working together. But India remains cautious. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has made India's position clear. He said this on multiple forums in recent days, that India is not encouraging Chinese investment, and that trusted partners would get priority, like countries from Europe and North America. Nations that play by the rules and offer equal opportunities. They will be prioritized. That's what Goyal has repeatedly underlined in his public statements. He highlighted the case of BYD, the Chinese EV maker. BYD is the world's largest seller of EVs. It wanted to build a factory in India, but New Delhi rejected the proposal. Piyush Goyal has said that it is a no to BYD. India's position on Chinese companies is quite clear. They will have to play by India's rules. And that means no dumping and no backdoor deals, which happens to be a growing risk for India. Trade data shows a growing imbalance. In 2024-25, India's trade deficit with China crossed $99 billion. Chinese imports continue to rise, especially in electronics and consumer goods. And now with the US tariffs biting, Chinese firms might dump even more goods in India. This is a major concern for the Indian economy, and it will have a bearing on the trade negotiations with the US. Let me explain how. Donald Trump has singled out China in his trade war. At the same time, he has imposed tariffs on every US trade partner. Why the others? One reason for that was rerouting. Experts believe that Trump wanted to close all backdoors so that China could not sneak in goods via other territories. And that is why India must be careful. It cannot be seen as helping China dodge the tariffs, even by mistake. This could backfire on New Delhi. It could hurt ties with Washington. And that is why the government of India is setting up a watch unit, basically an agency to track cheap imports and stop rerouting. The unit's larger goal is to protect local players and to make sure that Indian firms do not end up helping China dodge US tariffs. So while Beijing may be warming up to New Delhi is in no rush to strike deals. It is choosing partners carefully and keeping its eyes wide open.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.